injured people. Clint Weimer, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Glad to be here. Everything is going well here at Marion Center.
Well, that's the big question. Is it's the first day of school, and are the faces all smiling right now?
Yes, they are. We welcomed the kids in this morning, and they're excited to be here. The little ones are always a joy to see right out of the gate, and I think we're off to a good start.
Well, that's terrific. I wanted to ask you about that because, a superintendent has to be everywhere, especially on the first day of school. And I know it's an awful busy day for you, and I thank you for taking some time out of it to visit with us. But you do. You want to be there and see the kids, and especially those little ones that have never been in this environment before. It's a really can be a difficult time for them, and it's a job to make sure that they feel comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But our staff does a great job. We put a lot of people out on deck to welcome the kids off the bus, and the layout of our campus is challenging at times, so a lot of escorts in the hallway. And again, we try to be proactive as we can to make the transition for all the students to welcome them back. But again, the first day you see some anxiety, especially with the little ones. But I tell you what, it was a good start today. That's for sure.
Well, that's good to hear. When you get to those lower grades, the elementary grades, and of course you've got the two campuses. You've got your main campus, and then you've got the Rain Township School as well. You mentioned that it really takes a lot of people to make sure that this thing happens and works out successfully. And I just want to give you a chance to brag on those folks because we know that they've been working hard for this day. The preparation period is over, and now it's here.
Absolutely. All summer long, of course, we've had folks coming in and always preparing. And we were very fortunate enough to hire several new faces this year, which we're very proud of and excited to have those new members on our team. But again, we could not do this without our teachers, our staff, our custodians, our support staff. Those are the true heroes that make school successful, and especially the first day of welcoming our kids back. And again, Todd, I appreciate giving the opportunity to thank those folks. Of course, we did at our opening kickoff with our teachers on Monday. But again, our success as a school depends on those folks. And again, they show up for work, they get the job done, and we are here for the kids of Marion Center.
Think back to last year and the opening of school then, all of the uncertainty. Now, there is a certain amount of uncertainty this year as well with the surge in COVID, but last year was just, I'm sure, a much, much different environment. There were a lot of issues that needed to be decided and still on the fly from the start of the pandemic that previous spring. And this year, compare those two atmospheres.
And they're very similar, but very much different, Todd. Last year, we didn't know from day to day or week to week what the first day may look like based upon community spread or the guidance coming down from the state and Department of Health. This year, since probably, let's say, the beginning of July, there has been a push from the state and Department of Health to have kids here on campus 5 days a week, and they've allowed us the opportunity to do so. So when planning purposes, we've been planning to have our kids 5 days a week and have a normal start as possible for our community. And that was a very good aspect for us to strategically plan. We didn't have to change our plan continuously this year. Mm-hmm. So the anxiety is there of what may be or what may be to come. But as far as Marion Center is concerned, we've been on track to start 5 days a week. We've communicated that to our parents. So it did lessen some of the anxiety of what may be. So comparing the two, it was an easier to plan the startup for this year. And I don't want to say we're used to COVID because I don't think we ever will get used to the pandemic and the risk that comes with it and the challenges of educating our kids. But we now know how to deal with it and better ways to support our kids and students. And again, the anxiety of the start was not near as high this year because we were able to stay consistent with the direction we were going to open up our schools.
You know, I've talked with other school representatives, and they have told me, and I'm sure that you're doing this as well, they took a lot of the lessons and a lot of the technologies that they were able to develop and were forced to develop last year, and they've integrated them into this year's school schedule so that you're actually stronger now heading into a new school year in terms of the way that you do things than maybe you were in previous years.
And I think in many senses we are stronger because we found a lot more tools to place in the box to support our kids on a day-to-day basis, or in case an emergency would pop up and we have to do remote learning and so forth. But it has made all educators and all public school systems more versatile. I don't think I would wish that upon anybody of what we had to go through in the last year and a half to 2 years. But I think it's made us stronger as an institute, absolutely.
No school district is going to be the same absolutely from year to year. There are always going to be new courses, new curriculum, new technologies, and maybe even new facilities. What are some of the changes folks will see this year at Marion Center?
This year at Marion Center, it was a big push early on in the spring. We realigned our course offerings in the high school to have more options for students and have career tracks that the students have more ability to choose the academic path they want. So we're really excited about that. We're incorporating a new STEM and technology, 21st century kind of classroom into our high school. We've expanded our ag program a little bit. And in elementaries, again, we're continuing to add technology. And we were just very fortunate this year. We've hired a large pool of new inductees here to Marion Center as far as our staff goes that are extremely qualified and high energy. Of course, we miss those staff members that have retired. We had quite a few retirements this year. And again, those veterans are extremely hard to replace, and they will be missed, and I thank them for their service. But we're able to get started up, and like I said, a sense of energy is here. Despite the pandemic, we're excited to educate the kids in our community, and we do have some very unique new opportunities that we're hoping the students take advantage of.
STEM curriculum, of course, was a change that was coming and pretty rapidly at a lot of school districts, at all of them really. And school districts were already in the process of developing new STEM courses, new curriculum and programs. That was probably the case for you at Marion Center before the pandemic hit. Now it's really a priority, isn't it?
It's definitely a priority to transition our kids into whatever STEM realm they go, but the technology and how it's utilized on a day-to-day basis as a tool, not a crutch, but as a tool to promote learning and get our students prepared for entering into the workforce. We had the opportunity this year to rearrange some staff members, move a gentleman to the high school who's going to try to create an energy around the STEM initiatives, and again build a program that will at least get every student that so wishes acquainted to some of the new and more modern technologies that are out there and how they apply in the workforce.
Talking with Clint Weimer, he is the superintendent of the Marion Center schools. Their first day of classes is today. The buses were running. Sometimes at the beginning of a school year, it takes a while to iron out all the wrinkles in the bus schedules and the routes and everything. Did everything go well?
Everything went well. Of course, there's always a few hang-ups with bus stops and so forth, but it's a good sign my phone is not ringing, Todd. I think we've got everybody here, and again, I thank Smith Bus. They do a great job of working with the district and our community, and it was a good start. And our buses, we were very fortunate. All our seats were filled. We had drivers in them to pick our kids up and get them here. And again, I can't thank that company enough for supporting the needs of our district and our kids also.
I know geographically, Marion Center is one of the more spread out districts here in Indiana County. It's a really, really wide-ranging district with a lot of rural roads. And in this past summer, there may have been more construction on roads within your district, and it's still ongoing. So I know you would share what every other school administrator shares, and that is people be careful around the buses and the construction zones, and let's keep everyone safe.
Absolutely, we do. As you mentioned, so we're a little over 190 square miles. So transportation to and from our campus is always a challenge. But again, I ask the community to be safer on the buses. You know, they will be running now. They've been off for a couple months, so it may delay you getting to work a little bit here and there. But again, we have a great team in our transportation department, and I just appreciate the parents getting those young people on the bus this morning for us and getting them here, allow us to do our job.
Sports teams are up and running, of course. Band camp is concluded as well, and it is the season. Football starts on Friday. Golf has already started in a lot of districts. Cross country is always a big program, very strong for Marion Center, state champions a couple of years ago. The summer schedules are complete, and these teams are ready to go. Anything that folks need to know in terms of attendance at sporting events for this year?
As currently, right now, there are no restrictions. The gates are open. We're just asking everybody to be responsible and practice good mitigation techniques. But again, our gates are open. We're hoping that the bandstands are full and come out to support our kids. We've had every camp went very well. Our programs are well attended. The kids are participating. They're excited to be part of our extracurricular programs. And I think it's just going to be a great fall here for the Marion Center community. And I invite everybody to come out and see our students perform on the athletic field and our band. It sounds wonderful. I just can't wait to see our first halftime show. And again, I thought I'd invite everybody to come out to our local high school here at Marion Center and see the events. It's going to be an exciting fall, and it sure feels good to have a sense of normalcy to what's ahead.
Oh, you bet it does. And, of course, we want everyone to be good sportsmanship modelers as well for everybody else. Clint Weimer, thanks so much for taking some time out on a very busy day to spend with us.